Hi guys, and welcome to the Gone To series. In the earlier tutorials, we talked about some of the most common annotations that we use in a Hibernate application. In this tutorial, we are going to talk about how to make Hibernate generate the value of a primary key column automatically in a database table. Let's understand the problem first, and then we'll talk about its solution. If you have a database table which is having a primary key column in it, for example, student underscore information is having roll number as the primary key. Now, there are two ways to insert a record into such a table from your Hibernate application. First way is you provide the value of roll number and name of the student yourself in the main program and then call the same method of Hibernate to persist student record into the database. And the second way is you just provide the name of the student in the main program and Hibernate would automatically generate some unique number and assigns that to the roll number field while persisting the student record into the database. Generally, first way people go with when the primary key holds some business value in it. For example, if the primary key field is a mobile number in the same student underscore information table and not the roll number, in such a case, you cannot generate the mobile number automatically in your program. And you have to use the exact mobile number information for a given student record while inserting the student record into the student underscore information table. And the second way people go with when the primary key column is not so well defined and doesn't contain any business information in it. If the primary key field is a serial number in the same student underscore information table and the serial number would just talk about whose information we inserted first into the database table. So this serial number would just be a sequence of numbers starting from 1. And for every new row insertion into the database table, you would just want to increment the value of serial number column by 1 and provide it as the primary key value for the table. So for all such cases, you may not want to provide the primary key yourself in the program and want Hibernate to generate a unique number that is primary key for every row insertion into the database table. Now question is how to generate the value of a primary key column for a table automatically in a Hibernate application. You do this using the generated value annotation. This is the Hibernate demo example we built in the earlier Hibernate series of tutorials, and what we want in this demo is Hibernate should automatically generate the value of roll number for us while saving the student record into the database table. Let's apply the generated value annotation to the roll number field. So what we have done here is we are trying to save a student record having two columns, name and roll number. We will provide the value of name in the main program and let Hibernate auto-generate the roll number value for the student record. Go to the main program and delete the roll number setters. Also save one more student record into the database. Let's run the application. Let's check the output. Great. Hibernate has generated the value automatically for roll number for both the records. Now, there are different options available for the generated value annotation. Let's check them out. There are 4 strategies or ways using which Hibernate can auto-generate the primary key value depending on the database in use. Auto, identity, sequence, table. You have to choose one out of these, and if you do not choose any strategies, like we just saw in the demo, Hibernate would consider it as the auto strategy. If you are selecting auto strategy, Hibernate doc says Hibernate would pick up the appropriate strategy for the database in use automatically. That is, for auto, Hibernate would pick up any one of the strategies out of identity, sequence or table, depending upon the database in use. For example, if you are using Oracle, Hibernate would choose sequence since it doesn't support identity. Same way, if you are using MySQL, Hibernate would choose identity since it doesn't support sequence as of now. Now, what are these identity and sequence strategies? If you choose identity strategy and your database supports that, then Hibernate would generate the primary key value using the identity column feature of the database in use. Now, what is identity column? It's just a feature provided in certain databases like MySQL, SQL Server, Sybase, etc. to auto-generate the unique value for the given column for every set of a record. If you choose sequence strategy, Hibernate would generate the primary key value using the sequence objects of the database. Now, this sequence object feature is provided in certain databases like Oracle, DB2, etc. So what Hibernate does is, it creates the sequence object in the database, and every time a record is inserted into the database table, Hibernate would use that sequence object to generate the next incremented value and persist the same into the primary key column. The table generation type allocates a separate database table to keep track of the generation of unique values. So if you are not sure about the strategy your database supports, it's always good to rely on Hibernate's auto strategy feature.